Well, in this lecture, we are going to talk about the guides, which is, again, very important thing to know beforehand, because this will help us a lot with our document. So what guides are is like where you can select and unselect it from here. Because we don't have any guides, it is not showing us anything, but I'm going to show you what it does. This is right now is in a preview mode, meaning that guides are off. As you can see, if I'll draw the document from outside, it will show you everything only inside the document. You don't see anything that is outside of a document. But if you turn on the guides, as you can see, you see the entire triangle and you see the document borders right here. Meaning that the guides actually can show you more overlays and more stuff then you actually will be visible on your document. Plus, it can help you to have guides where you can draw different things, write different things. Let me just explain to you what it does, just to show you to know exactly what it is. In order to access guides, to create the guides for yourself, all you need to do is go to View on the top menu and then go to the Guides Manager. Press the Guides Manager and you can create the new guides for you. So in my case, what I use more often than not, I create the thirds on my documents, basically dividing my document into 3 parts, having 3 columns and 3 rows. You don't see because the guides are off, but let me turn the guides on. And right away, as you can see, the document have been divided by few parts. So let me just zoom out a bit just to put the guides right here. And this is like that. So as you can see, document have been divided on the squares, and you can actually have the gutter. A gutter is basically the space between the guides. You can actually increase or decrease it. Let's decrease it. Let's have it 50 pixels in this case. Press enter. And you can even change the color just to see how it will look like. But you know what? I don't want these squares to be on the very edge. And I'm going to explain what these squares actually do in just a few seconds. I don't want them to be just on the very edge. I want margins. So what I will do is I will increase margins from inner 10 pixel, top 10 pixel, outer 10 pixel, and bottom. This basically creates the space on the very edge of a document where the squares are not located, and it squeezes all the squares inside. Do we need this? Let's actually do the 20 because it looks a bit better on every side. And I'm going to be showing what actually it does in a few seconds. Okay, 20. Looks pretty okay. Let's close this one. And as you can see, let's zoom in. We have margins. This square, this inner blue square is where we can safely work. And it's actually safe to work outside as well, but still. What we can use it for is that, let's say I want to have a square. I'm going to do the square and it's actually can snap itself to the margins. This is the 1/3 of the page, this is the 2/3, and this is 2/3 on the top and the bottom. So I can do something like that. And let's say I want a text box right here. I want text box all the way to the bottom. Then I want something like square right here. I actually did it wrong. I can increase. And as you can see, it snaps itself because snapping is on. And by the way, just for the text frame, I'm going to fill it out with that. Oh, sorry, I haven't selected this one. This text tool. Let's fill it out with the filler text. As you can see, it's a fill out with a filler text. And let's make another text box. Just right here. And another text box right here. I'm going to fill it out with, no, I'm not going to fill it out with the filler text. I'm going to make this one smaller, just like that. No, this entire box smaller, and stretch this box right here. And we're going to talk about how to do this, of course, in the future lectures. Don't worry about this. And I'm going to link this one to here and link this one to here. Let's imagine that these greens are the pictures. We're going to put a few pictures, of course, in the future. But if I turn off the guides, as you can see, the alignment looks pretty good. Yeah, I would actually go with the bigger margins, but for the beginners, it looks pretty okay. And we couldn't do this without the guides. It would be impossible to do without a guides. Let's do this like that, just to make it feel a bit better. Just go to justify all. And here, yeah, we're gonna do with the justify all. It actually looks a bit better. And without guides, we would not be able to do this. Guides help us to create the guides basically for ourselves where we want to place different documents. I did it in a thirds with a thirds just like that because I like to work like that. But you can change it. You can change the number of squares in the height and in the width in a different numbers, however numbers you want. All you need to do, go to views and go to the guides manager. Want more rows? No problem. Actually, 4 rows probably will look way better. Press close and then resize everything however you want. I don't want this picture to be like that. I want it to be like that. Or maybe I want it to be like that. I want this document to be just like that and this one to be just like that. And everything just resizes itself. Because it's very simple to resize things like that. Maybe I don't want this just like that. I want 2 pictures, 2 separate pictures like that. And all I need to do is just let me zoom in just like that to do in the square size. And I can put another square. So in this case, I'm going to copy it. You can, of course, Control-C, Control-V this one. But all you need to do in this case is press and hold Alt on a computer and just drag it. And it will create a copy. And just put it like that. And as you can see, this if you turn off the guides, they actually look pretty okay. They look pretty nice. And you can use it however you want. This is extremely powerful feature of an Affinity publisher that you can use and use it. You can change it a bit differently. And by the way, I've actually realized now that I'm working on a master's. You should not be working on a master's. You should be working on a document. As you can see, everything just changed to the everything. But you just have an understanding what they actually do. By the way, everything that we did here, as you can see, it showed up in the layers. Well, of course, we're going to talk about this in the future. But this is what guides do. Help you to put the document in the right places. Just for yourself, just for your convenience. Well, this will be it for this one. Let's go to the next one.